I'm Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Bill Guerin, Board of Education member, and this is Huntley 158 Today.
Welcome, Bill. It's a great day, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's even a better day. We've got some guests here from Marlowe, and I'm super excited for them to talk about a service project that they're doing that is improving the world. So welcome. Why don't you go ahead and start introducing yourself. Tell us what grade you're in, and then for you guys, what do you teach?
Hi, I'm Ellie, and I'm an 8th grader at Marlowe.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and I'm a 7th grader at Marlowe.
I'm Jessica Borst, and I teach 6th grade social studies.
And I'm Ryan Starnes, and I also teach 6th grade social studies.
Well, thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we understand that you guys have been working on a project for the past several years. Can you tell us a little bit about the project and how it is changing the world?
In 6th grade social studies, about 4 years ago, we kind of changed our curriculum around a little bit, and we started reading novels in social studies, which was pretty cool. And this was the novel that we started reading. It's called A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. And it teaches the story about a boy from Sudan who goes through a lot. And his village comes under attack, and a civil war breaks out in Sudan, and he has to escape. And he goes through lots of trials and tribulations and ends up in refugee camps in different countries. He ends up being relocated back into the United States, and he creates an organization called Water for South Sudan. His organization is designed to dig wells back from where he was to get good, clean, healthy water to people in South Sudan.
So you started reading this book with the students for the past 4 years, and an idea sparked from there. So Mrs. Borst, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when we initially read the book 4 years ago, we come to the end, and I don't want to spoil the end for the students who haven't read the book quite yet, but they wanted to make a change. They realized that Salva created this wonderful organization, Water for South Sudan, who's bringing such amazing change to the people of South Sudan, and they wanted to get involved. And unfortunately, that year, it was a little too late for us to really get the ball rolling, but for the past couple of years, we've decided to host a colorathon where we could raise money to donate to this organization and get a well dug in the name of Marlowe Middle School. And we're happy to report that that has finally come to fruition this year.
And how much money was it that you raised?
It was approximately $15,000.
Wow.
That's the cost that it takes for the equipment, the people to drill the well, and everything that's involved. So it was a pretty lofty goal that we had, and we thought it would take us a lot longer than 2 years, but within 2 years of fundraising, we hit our goal thanks to the amazing work of these students and a bunch of their friends and family members in the community.
Ellie, you've been part of this for the last couple years, is that right, or just this year?
I was a part of it in 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it feel? You were part of it in 6th grade. Now a couple years later, this is actually going to happen for these people in Sudan. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's really cool to know that we've impacted something beyond just our community, because I've been involved in other fundraisers, like in elementary school, where it benefits the school in particular. But it was really interesting to see that, it doesn't just affect us in our own little bubble, it goes beyond that.
Can you guys tell us how this is going to positively impact the lives of the people that are going to benefit from this?
Michaela, do you want to take that?
I feel that we, like us as students, like people in the U.S., we're like very privileged with having just like turn on a tap to get water, but we don't realize how people in Sudan have to just walk miles and miles a day to get not even clean water for them to drink, and these kids can't even have education. But like it's just interesting for us to to get to do this, and amazing that we get to help them with that.
Ellie, you said you started this in 6th grade and were part of probably the growing of this project, the idea. How did you and your classmates, how was it presented? How did you get the other students kind of rolling and excited about doing this?
So we had an assembly at school, and that kind of made everybody aware of what we were going to do. And then after that, we got little packets so that we knew the different awards and the different packets that we could earn. And so from then on out, people were basically excited about getting their T-shirts and getting the packets so that they could have color sprayed all over them. So it was really cool, because I remember there being a gold packet, and everybody wanted that packet so that they could have the T-shirt with the bling on it. So we were basically just excited about the idea of just hanging out together. Not just the idea of changing and helping other people, but just having fun too.
What have all four of you learned from going through this process and the project that you've worked on?
I'll start. I just, the whole thing was truly amazing to me because you want them to learn the content and the information about things that are going on in the world. And then for them to approach us and saying, like, let's do something about this problem. Like, these kids don't get to go to school because they're so busy going to fetch water every single day. Like, can we do something to help this problem? And it was 100% a student-led, and we talk about empowering students all the time. And it was 100% student-led, like, let's raise some money and see what we can do. And I know as teachers, we were just kind of like, okay, like that's really cool / really scary. We have no idea what we're doing here. But it just eventually kind of came together. And it for me, in my 10 years in the district, it was the coolest thing that I've been a part of to help others. And just to see that these kids are capable and they want to help others and do more than just to help the community or whatever it is. So it was really, really eye-opening for me to see that there's more in that.
And it was really exciting to see the domino effect this will have. They mentioned the idea of people in Sudan having to walk for miles each day to obtain dirty, bacteria-ridden, parasite-filled water that causes these people to get sick and even die. And so drilling a well doesn't just bring clean water to these people's lives. Their village will now become a hub for other villagers to come and obtain that clean water, that healthy water, and now there might be a clinic built in that area because people will be coming from all over the place to maybe get medical care. A marketplace might arise. Girls who are the people who go and fetch the water, they don't get to go to school because they don't have those opportunities. And so now these girls will get to go to school, obtain an education, and make a better life for themselves. So having my students be able to see that just by bringing one small piece of their world a little bit brighter, it can have just such an amazing domino effect. And to see that kind of spark in my students' eyes, like, whoa, we just did a little bit, each of us did a little bit, but coming together to create that global change as a community, it was just inspiring.
And Ellie and Michaela, how about you guys? What did you learn from doing this?
Well, I basically just learned that, like anybody can make a difference. And like she said, with the, like every little bit counts. So that was really cool to see that, we can make a difference in something like this and make a difference in other people's lives.
I really like this because I seen these YouTube videos, people who tried to recreate like how they would walk with like gallons of water miles, and how they said how hard it was and how privileged they are, and like how they just feel like, I'm just doing this for one day, but these people have to do it for their entire lives. And I could have never imagined that. But now, because we made this difference, we don't have to think about their suffer because we know that they don't have to do that anymore.
I think you guys as staff members taking more than just the curriculum and giving them a real world experience. It's a memory that they're going to take with them. They not only learned the content, but they learned so much more, as these two young ladies had shared. And thank you two and the rest of your classmates for everything that you did to help others outside of our area and the community, because I think this was all encompassing as a district community. So thank you all, and thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you for joining us at Huntley 158 today,
Where it is all students, always.